I just want to do what's right for my baby.
Before we dive in, please like and comment. It truly helps this video reach more amazing viewers like you. The film begins inside Janiyah's house, and we notice that the place is in a severe state of neglect from the previous night. We see Janiyah sleeping on her bed with her daughter Aria next to her. Janiyah dreams of herself carrying Aria out of the hospital the previous night. She wakes up and calls out to Aria to get up for school. Then, she bathes Aria herself because Aria wants to bathe alone, but Janiyah tells her she fell in the bathtub once before when she was alone and got a bruise, so Janiyah has to bathe her. Aria says she doesn't want to go to school because the school scolded her for not paying the $40 needed to eat lunch with her classmates during the break. Janiyah is surprised to hear that the school told Aria this. Later, Janiyah leaves the apartment with Aria in a hurry, but she encounters her neighbor Benny, an elderly man in a wheelchair, who asks her for any money because he hasn't eaten since the day before. Although Janiyah only has $2, she decides to give them to him. At that moment, the landlord reprimands her for being late on rent. Janiyah tells her she'll get paid today and will pay the rent during her break at 10 a.m. The landlord warns her that if she doesn't pay, she'll evict her and throw her belongings out. Janiyah gets into her car, drops Aria off at school, and promises to bring the $40 before lunch so Aria can eat with her classmates. At that moment, Aria's teacher sees Janiyah and is surprised she came to the school. Janiyah goes to the supermarket where she works as a cashier and starts ringing up customers. A woman with a social security card tries to pay with it, but Janiyah informs her that the card can't be used for payment and apologizes. The woman gets upset, and as she leaves, her husband throws a bottle he was holding onto the floor. Richard, Janiyah's boss, orders her to get a mop and clean the mess. While Janiyah goes to get it, her friend comes to check on her and asks about Aria. Janiyah says she had a tough night at the hospital, but the doctors reassured her. Her friend offers her money, but Janiyah proudly refuses, saying she doesn't need it because she'll get paid today and cover all her overdue expenses. Her friend wishes her luck and leaves. At that moment, Janiyah gets a call from the school informing her they need her to come because of an issue with Aria. Janiyah explains she's at work and can't come, but Richard walks in and yells at her for not returning to her duties. Janiyah begs him to let her go to Aria's school for an urgent matter, but Richard, annoyed, says she always has excuses and is late for work. She pleads for just 30 minutes to go to the school and return quickly. Richard reluctantly agrees, but warns her that if she's not back on time, he'll fire her, something he's wanted to do for a while. Janiyah hurries to her car, but before getting in, she looks at the bank next to the supermarket and decides to go inside. She meets Nicole, the bank branch manager, who recognizes Janiyah from her frequent visits to cash her paycheck. Janiyah wants to withdraw her $47, the only money she has in her account, but Nicole tells her she must wait in line like other customers. Since Janiyah is short on time, she leaves the bank and drives quickly to the school. When she arrives, she's shocked to find social services taking Aria away. A social worker tells her they have to take Aria because she appears neglected, isn't eating well, and has bruises on her back. Janiyah tries to explain that the bruises aren't from abuse but from Aria falling while bathing alone. She says she works 2 part-time jobs and does everything she can to raise Aria, begging them not to take her daughter, who has asthma and needs her medication. Overwhelmed and emotional, Janiyah pleads, but the social worker insists Aria will be in safe hands, fed properly, and they'll contact her soon. Janiyah can't believe Aria is being taken from her like this. On her way back, Janiyah nearly hits another car. The driver, furious, yells at her. As she drives off, he follows and rams her car, causing it to swerve, but she manages to brake at the last moment. She gets out, and a police car arrives with a female officer. Janiyah tries to explain that the other driver hit her, but the man approaches shouting and claims he's a police officer. He threatens to shoot her if he sees her again and circumstances allow. The female officer tells him to calm down and leave, then asks Janiyah for her license. Finding it expired, the officer says she'll impound the car. Janiyah begs, explaining she'll get paid today and renew the license soon, needing the car to take Aria to the hospital when she's sick. The officer, unmoved, threatens to arrest her if she doesn't get out of the car. The car is impounded. Janiyah returns to the supermarket, but Richard refuses to let her resume work because she's 2 hours late. He fires her, accusing her of lying about going to school since he saw her at the bank. He says she always makes excuses he doesn't believe. Janiyah calmly asks for her paycheck, but Richard, stubborn, says it's in his office and he'll mail it to her by the end of the day. With no other options, Janiyah returns home to find her belongings thrown outside by the landlord for missing the payment deadline. Devastated and in shock, Janiyah goes back to Richard's office and begs for her paycheck. But he dismisses her problems, reiterates she's fired, and says the check will be mailed. At that moment, a strange man, seemingly a customer, notices Janiyah's name on her uniform and calls her by it. When Richard asks what he wants, the man pulls out a gun and demands all the money in the safe. Richard quickly hands over the cash, and the robber tries to take Janiyah's bag to put the money in. She resists because it contains Aria's school project. The robber yells and tries to take it by force. Janiyah fights back, pushes him, and the gun falls. In a split second, she grabs it, shoots the robber, and is shocked when Richard accuses her of being on a robbery, claiming the robber knew her name. Janiyah explains he saw her name on her badge, but Richard doesn't listen, calls the police, reports her for trying to rob with a thief, and says he'll have her jailed. Overwhelmed by shock, Janiyah shoots Richard, unable to process what she's done. She grabs her paycheck from his desk to cash it at the bank and heads there immediately. The bank security guard refuses to let her in as it's about to close, but Nicole sees her and tells the guard to let her enter. Janiyah goes to a bank teller, Raya, to cash her paycheck, but Raya asks for her ID. Janiyah, having lost it during the incident, says she's cashed checks there before and Raya should recognize her. Raya insists she can't cash it without ID due to bank policy. Under the pressure of everything she's been through, Janiyah shows Raya the gun to force her to comply. Another teller nearby sees the gun and secretly triggers a silent alarm without Janiyah noticing. Nicole in her office sees the alarm and calls the police, reporting that Janiyah, whom she recognizes from cashing her paychecks, is robbing the bank. She adds that Janiyah has a bomb, mistaking an electronic device in Janiyah's bag for one. Meanwhile, detectives Kaya and Billy are investigating the crime scene at the supermarket, reviewing security footage showing Janiyah shooting Richard. Back at the bank, Janiyah demands Raya cash her check. Outside, Kaya and Billy arrive at Janiyah's home and speak to Benny, who says Janiyah is a good woman with a sick daughter, always helping him with money for food. The landlord interrupts, saying she evicted Janiyah for unpaid rent and threw her belongings out. As they leave, they hear a police radio report about an armed bank robbery and rush to the scene. Inside the bank, Nicole tries to calm Janiyah, offering to give her all the money she wants. Janiyah, emotional, says she only wants her $521 paycheck. She orders the tellers to prepare the money. Outside, police surround the bank, with Kaya, Billy, and their chief, Wilson, arriving. Kaya tells Wilson that Janiyah, 42, was caught on camera shooting Richard and is now the suspect. Billy suggests she planned to rob and kill Richard, but Kaya disagrees, believing Janiyah was pushed by extreme circumstances and they shouldn't rush to judge her. Inside, a bank customer tries to grab Janiyah's gun, and in the struggle, she accidentally fires a shot into the ceiling. The police hear it, and the customer and security guard escape, informing the police that Janiyah has a gun and hostages. Janiyah, still inside, yells that all she wanted was to cash her check. She's shocked to see news on the bank's TV reporting her as wanted for the supermarket murder. Nicole receives a police call and passes the phone to Janiyah, but she refuses to speak when she hears a man's voice and returns the phone. Kaya suggests she call Janiyah, thinking a woman's voice might calm her. Wilson agrees, and Nicole puts the call on speaker. Kaya introduces herself, but Janiyah, upset, insists she didn't come to rob the bank, only to cash her check. She's angry at Raya for refusing initially. Kaya tries to calm her, explaining the situation will worsen if she continues, but Janiyah says she needs the money to pay Aria's $40 school lunch fee. Hearing this, Kaya promises help, but Janiyah, breaking down, says no one has ever helped her and the police just want to kill her. She ends the call. Nicole hands Janiyah her paycheck money and calmly says it's not too late to fix things. Janiyah gives her $40, asking her to deliver it to Aria for school if anything happens to her, convinced she won't leave the bank alive. She spots the corrupt officer who threatened her outside with the police, reinforcing her fear that he'll shoot her if she exits. She orders the bank curtains closed so the police can't see inside. However, the police monitor her through the bank security cameras. Meanwhile, Tessa, a teller, secretly live streams from her phone in the bathroom, writing on the window with lipstick that the bomb is fake, which the police see. Janiyah asks Nicole to tell the police she doesn't have a bomb, but Nicole warns that if they know there's no bomb, they'll storm the bank and kill her without negotiation. She suggests Janiyah leave the bag and surrender. Janiyah insists on confirming the corrupt officer is gone first. Kaya tracks down the female officer who issued Janiyah's ticket and presses her until she reveals the officer's name, Oliver. Kaya confronts Oliver, punches him, and accuses him of threatening Janiyah. Wilson intervenes, suspends Oliver pending investigation, and takes him away. Kaya returns to the police van, calls Janiyah, and tells her Oliver is gone. Janiyah demands to see his photo to confirm before surrendering. Kaya promises to send it soon. Meanwhile, Pierce, an FBI unit leader, arrives, takes over the case, and orders an assault, dismissing Kaya's protest that Janiyah is ready to surrender. Kaya, furious, approaches the bank herself, knocks, and shows Nicole Oliver's photo on her phone. Nicole shows it to Janiyah, who confirms it's him. Janiyah releases Tessa and Raya, but is surprised when Nicole chooses to stay, promising to leave with Janiyah to ensure her safety and vowing to adopt Aria and let her visit Janiyah in prison. Janiyah's mother calls, and when Janiyah answers, her mother says a policewoman is at her house asking why Janiyah was robbing the bank. Janiyah insists she wasn't robbing, just trying to cash her check for Aria's school fees. Her mother tells her calm down and reveals that Aria died the previous night in the hospital. Janiyah is devastated, recalling carrying Aria out of the hospital, dead. Her mind couldn't accept it, making her believe Aria was alive that morning and she took her to school. In reality, Aria wasn't there, and the school's call was about unpaid bills, explaining the teacher's confusion when Janiyah arrived. Realizing Aria is gone, Janiyah breaks down. She imagines police storming the bank and shooting her, but this is a hallucination. She's still with Nicole, who takes her hand and leads her out with their hands raised. Kaya speaks to her calmly, arrests her gently, and puts her in the police car. As they drive away, Janiyah sees a crowd outside chanting her name, sympathizing with her after watching Tessa's livestream. But it's too late, and the film ends.